Yep, it's recording now.
Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Highters Heath Ward Forum on the 12th of June 2024. I've just got to read out a brief notice to advise that members of the public or press may record and or take photographs of the meeting, and this meeting will be recorded and put up on the council's YouTube channel later on. So we're having a very brief emergency meeting tonight to approve some Brum funding, which has been put forward by Friends of Daisy Farm Park, and Steve Anderson has applied for the funding. So how this is going to work is, if Preeti, our neighbourhood support officer, can just give a brief overview of the process and how this will work. I will then pass this over to Steve to give his presentation, and then we will effectively vote on whether or not to approve the application effectively. So Preeti, if you could have the floor and just give us a bit of information on how the process will work, that would be much appreciated.
Yep, so I'll just give a quick little background on the Brum funding. So the Brum fund is derived from the allocation of the Clean Air Zone charges, and the fund will support community-led projects and activities which improve air quality or raise awareness of the impacts associated with poor air quality. So the process is, obviously we gather at a ward forum like we are today. The person who's putting the application in for the Brum funding will sort of put their ideas forward, what the plans are, and then we approve, obviously give our views and opinions, thoughts on the plans, and then those, the approval and the discussions that we have today, once I've typed them up, I will send them over to whoever's putting the application in, and they'll need to be put onto the top of the application form, and then it gets submitted to Brum Breathes. So whoever's putting the application forward, I'll let you take the floor.
Yep, lovely. Thank you for that, Preeti. I will now pass the floor to you, Steve. As I say, take as long as you need. Just give us details on what you're hoping to do, costs, etc. As much information as you'd like to give. And as I say, we can then open it to discussion and vote effectively. So you have the floor, Steve.
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to thank Adam for arranging the meeting at short notice. Since we formed Friends of Daisy Farm Park around springtime last year, one of the things we've been looking at is the possibility of replacing trees that have been lost on the park boundary along Maypole Lane. They were taken down probably 3 or 4 years ago now due to their condition, and they've not been replaced, so we've got gaps in the tree line. There was a bit of confusion initially as to who was responsible for the particular piece of land, because it falls outside of the park fence. But we've eventually, with the help of Birmingham tree people, established that it is a piece of land that can be planted on with the agreement of the park services. And Sue Amy, who's the area parks manager, has agreed that she's happy for trees to be planted there. Birmingham Tree People are a charity that work with the City Council to help look after and promote some of the city's trees. And it's basically trees that are not the responsibility of highways. We need around 6 trees to fill the gaps. And Birmingham Tree People have confirmed that they can supply the trees at a cost of £750 each, or if Friends of Daisy Farm Park are willing to take on responsibility for maintenance, which is largely the watering of the trees, there's a reduced cost of £350 per tree. After some discussion with Birmingham Tree people, they suggested we apply to the Brum Breathes Fund, because other groups in the city have done so and have been successful. So an application was submitted, and as Preeti's explained, this meeting is a step in the process. It's actually hopefully our last step prior to the application being considered. The slight problem we do have is that the deadline is very tight. Tree orders have to be in by the end of June. And as this particular funding pot ends in March of next year, this is really our one shot at obtaining that funding. So that's sort of basically the sort of gist of what we want to do. Obviously, the trees help soak up pollution, which is the link to improving air quality. And on behalf of Friends of Daisy Farm Park, I'd ask for the meeting to consider approving the bid.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Steve. Just something I need to declare for the minutes, which I should have done at the start, so apologies for that. As I say, I attend meetings of Friends of Daisy Farm Park in my role as a ward councillor, but I am able to vote and still chair this particular item, so I just need to declare that for the minutes. Has anyone got anything they would like to ask or discuss about this at all? No? Okay, that's fair enough.
Sorry, I couldn't get off mute. I couldn't get off mute then.
That's okay.
Trying to move my mouse. I just wondered about the location, Steve. Are they? Is it sort of the little roundabout end? So it's the top end of the park, if you like.
It's to fill the gaps between the Highters Heath end lane and the car park entrance.
Okay, got it.
As you go along, there are various gaps. It's to fill those gaps. I mean, ultimately, we would be led by Birmingham Tree people as to precise locations, because they have to check for underground services, etc. And we've also got to bear in mind there is an application for a 5G antenna to go in. So obviously, if we're successful, we wouldn't be planting in the area that planning application relates to. But it should, in theory, be to fill the gaps where the previous trees have come out.
Any other questions, Sharon, at all?
No, strangely enough for me.
No. I don't want to put you on the spot, Sam, but since you are the other resident in the meeting, is there anything you'd like to ask or discuss?
You're on mute.
The only worry for me is I'm all for the trees. Don't have a problem with the trees being planted. It's great. I just don't want them to be destroyed by further encampments on the park, which is a possibility, isn't it? If they're planted and we have a further invasion of gypsies on the land, they're just going to run them down if they're young saplings. That's my concern.
Yes, I'll let Steve come in to say what he has to say. I obviously agree with that. We had a tree planting session in the past. Unfortunately, they were vandalised and destroyed, not by the travellers, but by just vandals. And unfortunately, these were in the middle of the park. It was done between myself, Friends of Daisy Farm Park, and a local school as well. I think it was might have been Hollywood Primary School from memory, although I could be wrong. Steve can correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, it was a very good session. Unfortunately, they were all vandalised and destroyed, which was incredibly sad. But yes, obviously we don't want them to be destroyed. But as I say, we just got to hope for the best on that one. I'll bring Steve in if he because I'm sure there's probably stuff he wants to say on that as well.
Yeah, the previous one was Highters Heath School that came along and planted in the park. Yeah, the hope is that the new trees going in would be caged, which wouldn't obviously stop a vehicle pulling them out or driving over them, but it should help lessen general vandalism. We are in discussion with the parks manager and West Midlands Police as to ideas to generally improve park security. And obviously, when you do plant new trees, there is always a risk of damage. But the other option is not to do it. And really it's a case of taking a chance on it, and if the trees can survive, then after a few years they equally help provide a deterrent, because they'll start filling some of the gaps where the vehicles can currently gain access. But yeah, hopefully from a general vandalism point of view, any trees planted would be caged, which is what we've done with the community orchard on the park, and touch wood, that's currently unaffected even after the travellers' recent visit.
Lovely, thanks for that. Sharon, you had your hand up. Do you want to come back?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I know that original planting was disappointing, but I don't want to say it out loud, but the community orchard seems to be relatively unscathed at the moment, and the trees that we have planted and the Steve will correct me, those little things that we put in, what were they called? Whips. All of those that we planted, I think last year, or was it this year? They all seem to be thriving. And I didn't know if this, Steve, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about the mowing idea that you had. Have you spoken any more? Whether we could tell Sam what our plan was about having the no mow area around that bit of the park where they keep getting in.
Yeah, I mean those discussions are going on with Sue at the moment. I mean, Sam, you're probably aware, but prior to visiting us, the travellers also visited Swanshurst, Billesley, Chinbrook, and at Chinbrook in particular, they caused a fair amount of damage to existing protections, including removal of gates, cutting some trees. So it's an ongoing issue that, as I say, we are trying to see if we can come up with some solutions to deter. But it's apart from the fact the council haven't got the money, there's a lot of green spaces that are in a similar position. So it's a balancing act between, if you do something at one, what about the rest of them? But this actual application, as I say, because it's linked to Brum breeds, is purely around the benefit of the trees for air quality.
Lovely. Thanks for that, Steve. Yes. Does anyone else have anything that they want to add at all? Preeti, is there anything that else that needs to be discussed, or anything I've missed at all?
No, I think everyone's given their views. I think formally you may just need to ask if everyone approves of the plans, just for the minutes.
Yep, I'm happy to do that. I don't know if everyone just wants to stick their hands up if they're in favour, and yeah, all those in favour, I suppose. Yeah, okay. Steve, I can't see if your hand is up or not.
I've got a digital hand up.
Yeah, two hands. Yes, I was going to say if you're proposing it, I'd be surprised if you voted against it, but I just wanted to double check. So I think that is unanimously approved. So very good. And now we'll just move on to any other business. Is there anything that anyone wants to raise or discuss with me in the forum as your councillor while you've got me live on air? You've all got your hands up, so I don't know if you want to form an orderly queue. No, they're all quickly going down. Okay, fair enough. I haven't got any particular updates on my end, although as always, if anyone has anything they want to ask, feel free to reach out to me or call me, email anytime. And thank you very much for
I just
attending.
wondered about Steve, when did we say the AGM is? Just let Sam know when. I should know because I'm the secretary. But
Monday the 24th.
So we're having a Friends of Daisy Farm Park AGM on the 24th. It's at the Emmanuel Church. Actually in the church, is that right? Not the church hall?
Yeah, it's in the church at 6:30.
Lovely. We'll
Thank you.
have that note.
I will find it difficult to attend at 6:30. It's a bit early for me. Sorry.
That's fine. We have to do it early for Sharon, you know.
Because I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Right. Well, thank
let's
you very
not
much,
let's not get into an argument about timings live on air. But
I mean, if you come
sure...
along a bit later, I mean, how long is it going to be, Steve? Was it about an hour or so?
Yeah, it's an hour that's allocated.
When is it? Did you say the 24th?
Monday the 24th.
At the Emmanuel. Was it Emmanuel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm popping it in my diary.
Thank you.
6:30.
And just let anybody know. I mean, we've shared it on the Friends page, and but we do need some support because people join and then they're not always as engaged as you'd like them to be. So it'd be good to get some new blood in the group.
Okay. If I can attend, I will.
Thank you.
Lovely. That, as I say, I've got no particular announcements to make at this time. So I'd just like to thank everyone for attending the meeting and have a lovely evening. And if you
thanks, Adam.
And no worries at all. If you could end the recording now, Preeti, we can.
I've just ended the recording. Yeah. I just wanted to quickly say, Steve, if you're submitting the application, if you could just, because I don't have your email, if you could send me an email, just so that I can send you the minutes once they're completed for the application.
Yeah, I'll pop you an email through.
And I'll, because it won't be an extensive set of notes. So what I'll do, what day is it today? Wednesday. I will try my best to get these sent to you before Friday.
That'd be great if you could.
Thanks. And thanks, Preeti, for everything you've done for Highters Heath, as you're moving on to pastures.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I was just going to give one final thank you before we all turn off for your service. No, it's fine, Sharon. I think if we can all just give a official, unofficial, now the recording's ended, vote of thanks to Preeti for all her help and support for all the meetings she's helped me to organise since she took over from Kay Thomas. It's not an easy job to get all people lined up, so we appreciate what you've done, Preeti, and as I say, I hope your successor is as good as you were.
Oh, thank you. I'll still be around though, so if anyone's ever got any funding queries or anything, I'll
Thank
still
you.
be here.
Lovely. Okay, well, as I say, have a good evening, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Cheers.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
You too.
Thanks.
No
Bye.
worries.
Bye.
Bye.